A very good evening to all of you. Welcome back to the session 3 of CDL Bootcamp 2. It is such a lovely audience. Thank you so much all for joining in. Before moving ahead, some steps which I repeat always. Make sure you have uploaded a screenshot on Twitter tagging Hack2skill and Google Developers India. Make sure you tag Prerit also while commenting about the experiences. And yes, don't forget to make your skill boost profile public. I can see a lot of questions about the quiz and everything. Once you are done with all the things, we will be live giving a quiz over a mail and dashboard soon to you all. All right, with this, let's welcome Prerit Munjal amongst us. Prerit is also on screen, but then let's just welcome him officially. Over to you, Prerit.
Hey everyone, thank you Avni for the intro. So let me start my presentation. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible, Prerit. We can start.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, let me tell you who am I, because like most of you don't know what I do as a engineer, what is my profession. So I am 8x Google Cloud certified. I am also 20x multi-cloud certified. I have 14 certifications in Azure. I am a Microsoft certified trainer. I have 2 years of experience in Google Cloud, and I am the youngest individual to pass all the professional certifications. Currently, Google Cloud provides 11 certifications, and I have 8 of them. Apart from this, I have 5+ internship and FT offers in my hand right now, with a base salary of 24 LPA to 36 LPA. And talking about my professional journey, I'm currently working as a cloud engineer at Viz Labs. I worked at Samsung and Google for 3 months for a project on the data rendering to catch. Like you must be figuring out, like these are just normal things that people on LinkedIn have. What's the catch here? So the catch is, like, I'm still in my college. I am still pursuing my bachelor's of technology in computer science from a college in Dehradun. And yeah, so I have achieved all these things within 3 years only. So my major aim for this session is to give you some insights on CDL certification, that is Cloud Digital Leader, because I passed that certification recently, 3-4 days back. Because I had professional certifications, so I didn't like think about passing that certification, but because it is very naive certification for the people who are just beginning into cloud. But I passed the certification 3-4 days back. So just hear me out for the next 45 minutes. I will be sharing very good insights about the certifications. Not in the end, like in the end we will be having a question answer session, but in the middle of the sessions, or when I will be teaching you about the topics, I will sharing some key insights. And I assure you that 20% of the questions will be covered from today's session only. And I can also assure that if you give me your attention for the next 45 minutes, you will be passing this certification for sure in your first attempt. So let's start. So today's agenda, I am not I don't know what previous mentors have taught you or how much you have got into your mind, but I will be covering all the services, all the topics that are covered in CDL. First of all, I will be a little fast because there are a lot of topics that we have to cover, so please bear with me. So first topic is resource hierarchy. And just assume it as the first on the first level, it's organization node, then folders are subdivided into projects, into projects, and projects we create resources. So like you must be knowing this much because you have studied from the modules. So the question from here would be like, if you have to implement a particular thing. For example, you have to disable external IPs while creating a VMs in your entire organization. The question would be like this only, that you have to disable use of external IPs in your VMs. So there will be four options: either you have to apply it on organization node, folders, projects, or resources. So the answers would be organization node, as we apply all the constraints at organization. If you have to implement a broad level thing, like you have to implement a certain thing for the entire organization, you have to implement at organization node. Those things are called constraints. Like that thing is out of the scope, but those things are called constraints, and they are applied at organization node only. And also another thing, in companies we have different teams. Like there is one management team, there is one infrastructure team, there is one CI/CD team. So prefer that each team is allotted a different folder, right? A management team will have a folder A, and like infra will have folder B, and inside that folder we will have various projects. And the projects can have like different environment. One project is for dev, second is for test, third is for like all the deployment production workload. So just one company, then different teams, and in different teams we have different stages or different environments. So this was about resource hierarchy. So billing, there will be no question on billing. You just for your sake, I'm telling that just start practicing on the portal, that is console.cloud.google.com. And don't be afraid that Google will charge you of something by creating account. You get $300 of credits for free, and Google will not charge you unless you have created a big resource and forgot to delete it. So this was about billing, and this certification is not about implementing part. So there is no need to just memorize all the commands like gcloud, compute, instances, create. There is no need of cramming all the commands, all the CLI commands. There will be no question on the CLI commands as well. So the next thing is VPC. VPC, just imagine VPC as a big home. Like you have home, you have different rooms, you have balconies, you have park, you have swimming pool, you have various amenities in your home only. Similarly, in a VPC, we can have different resources. The resources can be of compute, it can be of app engine, it can be of cloud run. Not cloud run, cloud run is a serverless service. But in a VPC you have different resources grouped together under a hood. And uh, one thing about Google Cloud is that VPCs are global by nature. So there can be one question like this: you have to create a VPC in region 1 and you have to create a VPC in region 2. So how can you what will you do? You will create two VPCs, or you will create one VPC with different subnets? So the answer would be just create one VPC and two different subnets, unless some condition is defined, right? Because VPC in Google Cloud is global. You can have multiple resources in multiple locations. There is no hard rule like you have to create a resource in US Central one, then you have to create a different VPC in Asia South one, then some different VPC. There is no need. Just create one VPC and have different subnets under that, unless you have some like condition defined. For example, you have a team that want a complete isolation, then you have to create a different VPC for sure. And like every house has a fence, every house has a gate, uh, and walls to protect yourself. Similarly in VPC we have firewall rules. Firewall rules are just like you have your lappy or PC, right? So the firewall rule is to protect the incoming traffic. So one major thing that you have to note here is what are the types of traffic. Types of traffic are ingress and egress. Like and traffic is a very relative term. For me, if just take an example, for me, if I throw a ball at you, then the traffic is egress for me, because I'm throwing a ball at you. And for that ball coming to you, as your perspective, that is ingress to you. Ingress means something coming towards, and egress is going outwards. So if I throw a ball at you, then it's egress for me. But that the same ball that is coming at you by your perspective, that's ingress for you. So traffic is a very relative term. And for the entire cloud, we will take like VPC as the perspective, and we will define the traffic along with it. Like if traffic is coming towards VPC from internet, then it's ingress. If traffic is going outwards, then it's egress. And by default, ingress is not allowed in VPC. In Google Cloud, you have to define a separate firewall rule so that traffic can come in and do some changes. So this is about traffic. Google has by default not allowed all the traffic to come in, so you have to define firewall rules so that your traffic can come inside and talk to VMs. So while getting firewall rules, you have to define a VPC like we talked about. Without house, we can't deploy a fence over it, so we need a house or VPC. Then priority is out of the scope of this certification. Direction of traffic, I have already told you. And action on match, like you have to allow it or deny it. And if you have allow it, then what is the target range? If you have to allow to a particular network tags or service accounts, then it's all up to you. Ports and protocols also not in the scope of the certification. Just have a basic overview that we have a VPC, then we have a firewall, and inside VPC we create resources can be anything. That can be compute, you can have storage is a serverless thing. So these are the range of services. Only these will be covered. First is compute engine. So I remember one question was based on like uh, you have it was more of I can't recall the exact question, but it was something like you have a compute engine running on GCP. So what's the key responsibilities of Google Cloud? So first of all, compute engine is a IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. So the major the only thing that Google is responsible is for hardware maintenance. Mark my words, this will be a question in your certification exam or the quiz that you are having tomorrow. The Google Cloud is only responsible for applying security to the service, because like security is a very like very broad term. Google and Google Cloud both are responsible for the security, but in compute engine for the hardware and all the software patches, Google Cloud is responsible. And for the hardware maintenance, Google Cloud is responsible. Another thing, that if there is some zonal failure, if the temperature of the data center is not like maintaining the temperature of the data center, because servers need a optimal temperature to run and improve their efficiency. So that all thing, hardware related thing, is dependent on Google Cloud. Rest, your application, your code, your dependencies, your containers, your networking, everything is on you for IaaS as a service. IaaS is compute engine only. Then comes GKE. I think most of you are new to Google Cloud, so just hear me out for the Kubernetes part. Kubernetes is just a production grade container deployment tool. So what are containers? Previously there was monolith applications. That meant like entire code is in a single file. If you have to even update some text in it, you have to update the entire code base, then apply it again, then deploy it again. Then came the microservices one, that like UI is in a different service, your database is in a different service, your backend code is in a different service. So all then like for deploying microservices, we create some images are just the photocopy. Like you click a picture, that is the photocopy of that instance at particular moment. If I am having a selfie right now, then I am capturing the moment. Similarly, in microservices, we create an image for capturing the state of that particular service, right? Image, the benefit of image is that they are portable. Like you can give that image to some other resource, anyone. Like it's portable, you can deploy it on Azure, you can deploy it on AWS, you can deploy it on anywhere, right? So Then after the images, images are converted into containers. Like it is done by Kubernetes only. You just apply tell or give the image to the Kubernetes and it will deploy containers on it. You There is no need for you to go that much deep into it. Just have a high level overview that there were monolithic applications. Then you have microservices and we have images. Then to deploy it we need containers, and to containers we need Kubernetes. Kubernetes, one interesting fact, Kubernetes was developed by Google only and then it was open source. The parents of Kubernetes are Borg and Omega. If you are into some interview, then the interviewer may ask this question to you that who developed uh, Kubernetes. So Kubernetes was developed by Google only, and the ancestors are Borg and Omega. The next thing is app engine. That is out of the scope, but if you have to deploy some application on cloud, maybe it's monolithic, maybe it's anything, then app engine is a service. And then cloud functions, yeah, cloud function is a very important service for this certification. If there you find any term like serverless, or you have to write your own code, if I'm giving emphasis on code because cloud function is a serverless code application. So if you want to define your own functions, you have to look for three terms: functions, serverless, code. If these three come, then just pick up cloud functions. Cloud functions is like one question will be from cloud function only. And service accounts is not the scope of this certification, but you can think of service accounts as your brother and sister. If you are an elder child of your in your home, then you have little brother and sister, so you tell your brothers and sister that do this stuff for me and I will give you a chocolate in return. So they do it. If you tell them go bring some water, they will do it and you will give a chocolate in return. Similarly, service accounts are created. You tell the service account to do a certain task for you, and in return you provide service account a key. Without the key, you can't like service account can't recognize you, so you have to provide a key and then service account will do a task for you. And the expiration or expiration of the service account key is infinite. Then we have OIDC, that's another concept, but service accounts is this much only. So security, we have discussed security, the firewall rules, and we have IAM. IAM is not that much needed for this certification. Just if some questions pop up like this, you have to restrict the access to your particular resource, or you have to restrict the access to your cloud project, so that only you and your team are responsible for this, for maintaining the infra. So just pick up IAM. They will not ask you for specific role like cloud storage admin or anything else. Just uh, just have a overview that IAM is used for giving the access. And there are three types of IAM roles. First is the basic one include the viewer, editor, owner. The second is predefined, like the Google has predefined created roles like cloud storage admin or data proc admin or BigQuery admin. So this was all about IAM. No need to go that much deep into IAM unless you're preparing for the associate cloud engineer. So the third thing is cloud storage bucket. For sure, 2 to 3 questions will be from here only. Cloud storage, we have bucket. First thing, it is serverless. By serverless, what do I mean? Serverless is that it increases its capacity by itself. There is no need for you to tell Google that increase my capacity from 1 TB to 2 TB. Serverless is a thing that it increases by itself. There is no need to define the hard limit, like I need to store 10 TB, so I just allowed me 10 TB. It is serverless. If you store 1 MB, it will store 1 MB. If you store thousand of TB, then it will thousand of TB. So there is it is a serverless service. And similarly, if you have a bucket in your restroom or bathroom, then uh, bucket is used to store water, right? And later on you just take water from the mug and you take the bath. So similarly, in Google Cloud we have buckets that used to store any type of data. Basically we use cloud storage bucket for the staging area. For example, you have to transfer the data from SQL to BigQuery or from data stream to BigQuery, then generally we use cloud storage buckets as your staging area. If you find any word like store data, raw data, and staging for staging purpose, then just pick Google Cloud Storage bucket. Rest, like lifecycle policies, ACLs, access control list, that is for the scope of associate cloud engineer. Just have a look, like it is serverless, it is used to store any type of data, just this. So now comes the very very important part, that is compute engine. In Google Cloud, we offer compute engine as a service, and Google Cloud is responsible for hardware maintenance and security patches. Like many people will be telling VM is a virtual machine, but what is a VM? That is the question. So just it is just like a laptop. You have CPUs and RAM and SSDs or HDDs. Similarly, we have your laptop on cloud. That's it. That's nothing more of a like magic. The laptop that is hosted virtually on cloud, that is called virtual machine. That's it. So for your reference, your one core processor is divided into two vCPUs. Like vCPUs and CPUs are very different thing. That is, this is a interview question. So one core processor is divided into two vCPUs, and in Google Cloud. So if someone asks like what is the difference between vCPUs and CPUs, so this is the difference. And similarly, Google Cloud has like families, machine families, series, and vCPUs. So what is N1 standard one? So you must be like I think you have some experience, hands-on experience in Google Cloud. So what is N1 standard one? N1 is the series, and standard is the type of workload, and one is the number of vCPUs. Similarly, if N1 standard 2, N1 is the series, standard is the type of work, and 2 is the number of vCPUs. So we have different types of machine families. One is general purpose, that is N1. And then we have compute optimized, that is specifically meant for performing computational workloads. For example, you have to calculate the value of pi, or a very large value, or some really you have to play with numbers. So just pick up compute optimized. The third thing is the memory optimized. For example, you have to run a database on VMs. You can run a database. Like most people think that VM is just used for SSHing into a instance and performing some workloads. No, uh, every service in the back end uses virtual machines, that is Google Compute Engine. For example, you just build a GKE and later come to GCE, like there is some different sections in Google Cloud, then you will find that the GKE nodes are created only in GCE only. Similarly, App Engine, every service behind the hood uses Google Compute Engine and create VMs on it, because like you need computational power, right? In GKE also, if you are running containers, you need computational power to keep it up running. So this is about Google Compute Engine. You can deploy even containers on it. You can deploy other thing like database on. Also you can use it. Major use is for sshing, for like in your labs. Also you ssh, you deploy a website, you install Apache, and then you change the HTML code, and just website is deployed on it. So this was about VM. And instance template, just it is a blueprint. If you have to create 1,000, like a fleet of VM, then define a template and deploy multiple instances in it. And multiple instances are grouped into instance groups. Instance groups are used to serve as a service behind a load balancer, and load balancer is used for balancing the load. Like by the term also, load balance, like balance the load, incoming load. So you have a single unicast IP, then the traffic comes towards the load balancer, and you can have various instances like giving you the output for different things. So just take a screenshot of my screen, because this is a very very important diagram that you have to cram, you have to learn, you have to just keep looking at it for the next 10 days. Please please please, learn or cram this chart, because if you are planning to go further in Google Cloud, this will be your like on the tips thing. Like if you need HTTPS traffic, then this type of load balance should be there and all that stuff. So take a screenshot of this. Components of a load balancer out of the scope. No need to. I already explained what are containers, but now I will explain again. So containers are just used to run images. What are images? Images are just point in time point of like a screenshot of your service. That's it. So images are screenshots, and in order to use images we build containers, and for containers to run we create pods are created inside nodes. And similarly, to run multiple same things, multiple or the same thing entire in your entire cluster, you create deployments or replica sets. And to expose the service we use expose your deployment, we use services. And for exposing your service we use ingress, that is a DNS thing. No need to go that much deep. Okay, so before starting serverless, you will face 20% questions to be out of technical concept. So one question I'm sharing is that you have to train your team for Google Cloud, and you want them to be highly proficient in Google Cloud. So the first option was hire a third party trainer and let your team ask the questions and train, and let the trainer train your team. The second topic was the second option, because in Google Cloud, the in exam you will have four MCQ options, single select only in CDL. In ACE we have multiple select, but in CDL four questions MCQ, like JE or NEET, you have to tick mark the right option. The first option was hire a third party trainer. Second was to isolate every member of the team and let them study on their own. Like no one should interfere in their each other course, and should just let them learn for the next 30 days in isolated environment. The third thing was to help to create a peer-to-peer learning environment and let each other learn from each other. And the fourth option was just do nothing. Like you will find very vague, very vague answers in the CDL certification. So these were the fourth option. So according to me, the answer was to create a peer-to-peer learning environment, so that if somebody has a particular problem, he or she can like go towards his peers. So 20% of the question would be like this only, like based on your social skills, based on your behavior, like what the industry requires. And basically more of a common sense questions, like easily I think ninth standard student can also tell this type of thing. Like you don't have to create isolated environment. Why would one employee come to your office and learn the same thing for 30 days? Instead there would be some peer-to-peer thing, like 20 to 80% ratio. 20 is for learning, 80 is for implementing. So most of the questions will be for this only. Another thing, before starting this, five questions from will be from the next topic only. So one is availability. Availability is a thing, like if you enter instagram.com right now, the Instagram will revert you the required thing, like get request will go, and you will get the required results. So availability is that if you enter something, you will get the response just in few milliseconds, right? So in order to increase the availability of a service, you have to deploy a particular service in particular zones and in particular regions, preferably like in Google Cloud. I told you that VPC we have multiple regions in the beginning. So zones are particularly your area. India has like talking about US Central 1A, US Central 1B, US Central 1C. So these are zones, and US Central 1 is a particular region. So in order to increase the availability, you have to have the application running in particular zones for a particular region. If you have to have a global presence, then you should pick for run in multiple regions as well as multiple zones. So 5 questions was from this only. uh, you have to make your application highly available, and make sure that people are facing like in milliseconds, the latency is in milliseconds. So just pick for deploy your application in multiple zones and in multiple regions if it's for global presence. The second thing is for durability. Durability is like if your data, it is more for ACID properties. ACID is for relational databases. OLTP is online transactional processing. And there are two types of databases. Sorry if I get like I mix up the topics in between, but the things are huge, so I will be explaining clarifications. So there are two types of databases: OLAP and OLTP. OLTP is online transaction processing, and second is online analytics processing. So I will be sharing the key things about them in the futures, in the next PPT, in the next slides. So this was about availability. Durability is for asset transactions, I will cover in later. And if you want, like there is some disaster, there is some natural calamity happening in Japan, like in Japan there was a calamity, then there may be multiple things, like in Bihar or some area we have data center and that area is flooded. So for that also we need to have a backup or replica of our data, of our services, of our containers. Everything should be backed up, and for that we need to deploy resources in different regions, not zones, because like most of the time the natural calamity is for a zone, so prefer to deploy resources in a different region. That said, serverless, uh, three services just for computational. One is Cloud Run, second is Cloud Function, third is App Engine. Cloud Function and App Engine, I told you before, like server. If you find three words: serverless, code, and functions, just pick up Cloud Functions, because you have to define your own function. It just work like int main. You define in C++, like int main. You define the entire code in the int main, and press compile or run my code, then the function returns the code. Similarly, in Cloud Function, you just define what you want. If you want backup to occur at 12 p.m. in the night, it will do for you. For that, you have to attach Cloud Function with Cloud Scheduler, so that it can hit the trigger at 12 p.m. every night. So if you want some customized tasks done for you, then pick up Cloud Functions. And Cloud Run is also used for running containers. The only difference between Cloud Run and Kubernetes Engine, GKE, is that Cloud Run is fully managed by Google. You just deploy your code, create a service, that's it. In Kubernetes, you have to deploy, you have to create node pools, you have to define pods, you have to define and like multiple things are defined by you. In Kubernetes, you have to define your own backup. In Cloud Run, everything is managed by Google Cloud. You just upload your code, that's it. App Engine, you used to deploy your code, your application into it. Okay, hybrid architecture. This exam is not even meant for hybrid thing, but for your future growth, I will share a few tips about hybrid architecture. So if you have to go to your friend's house, you need to take a road, right? And by the same road you will come back. Similarly, in Google Cloud, there is a term called on-prem. On-prem is data center that you have in your own house. You have racks, you have wires going, your hubs, your switches. So on-prem is a data center in your house, and cloud is, we don't know where. So on-prem you can have the connect is laying down down the soil, down the crust. So you connect on-prem with cloud. Then the second thing is VPNs, that is virtual private network, that like everybody uses these days to hide your identity and like cookies and all that stuff. So VPN is used to connect to your on-prem. The third thing is peering. The peering can be direct peering, carrier peering, or another thing is network peering. So just if somebody talks about on-prem, so just don't get embarrassed that I don't know what is on-prem, what is cloud. So this is only thing that 4 to 5 services are there to talk with cloud and on-prem. That's it. And RFC 1918, please, 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 this is out of the scope of the certification, but please hear me out. What is RFC 1918? Like previously, IPv4 was created, and like US military has a major stake in IPv4. It was delivered at US. So later on, when the human population grew, we came to know that we are just having less number of IPv4s, right? So then IPv5 was created, but that was not successful. Then IPv6 was created, and that was successful, but it, like, major components are still yet to be upgraded to be compatible with IPv6. So we mostly rely on IPv4. So what is RFC 1918? It is a set of IPs that was reserved for private use. Rest of the IPs are public use. If you enter 123.123.123, any IP, like, it will go to a particular ISP, then ISP will connect you with the particular website or resource. So RFC 1918 was a three ranges blocked for future purposes, but for private ranges, anything that happens inside this private IP remains to you only. Like, multiple people can have a range from 10.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. Multiple people can have the same range, but the entire traffic will be local. Like, you have localhost, right? No, someone else also can run localhost, but we'll see only the thing running on his laptop. Similarly, we have these range of IPs. All the traffic is only visible to you, and to like convert this private IP to public IP and let your public private IP talk to internet, we have cloud nets. Nets are a network address translation, so that are used for converting private to public and public to private. Just have this thing in your mind, like, what is RFC 1918, what is all these private IPs, and somebody can talk to your network or not. So data, like, every company is running behind data. Instagram, Twitter not, but every company is running behind your data. So data can be of any type, like your images that you just send your friends on your WhatsApp, or can be Instagram reels or WhatsApp images, videos, anything that is raw data, that is unstructured data. So the unstructured data is some data like that doesn't have a format, that, like, image, mostly images, gifs, unstructured data. And for storing unstructured data, I told you that we have a serverless application, that is cloud storage bucket. And other type of data is structured and unstructured. Structured is something that have a schema, have particular attributes defined, have particular columns defined, and we have fixed that the incoming data will have the same type of data. So structured data. Now we will go towards some questions that will be coming in your examinations tomorrow, or CDL certification that you will take in future. So if you face some question, like, you have structured data, you want to use online transactions. So there are two services that support transaction in Google Cloud. One is Cloud SQL, SQL or SQL, that's up to you what you have to call it, Cloud SQL. And the second thing is Cloud Spanner. So these two services only support transactional workload in cloud. So another thing, what is the difference between both of these services? Then if you have a option, you want to do transactions in cloud, and you have structured data, and it must be global. Remember the term global, the answer would be Spanner, because the only difference between Spanner and SQL is the area that covers. Spanner is global by default, and Cloud SQL is regional by default. And another thing is that if you need high consistency, because Cloud Spanner offers 5 nines of consistency, 99.999, and Cloud SQL offers the consistency of 99.95. So If you need more consistency, global, transactional, structural, then pick cloud spanner. If you need a little less consistent but you need to have a regional and structured data, then pick cloud sql. Another thing, like 20 questions will be from storage part only. Don't just take it lightly. 20% will be from your behavioral, 20 will be compute, 20 will be storage. So what next topic comes of NoSQL. So NoSQL is just unstructured, no, semi-structured data. Like you can define your own schema. You have the space or the room to define your own schema. So if you face any question regarding low latency, right, latency is like there's some IoT sensor sending you data for every 5 minute, every 5 second or every 2 second. Your IoT sensor is sending you data. Like there are some sensors, if you have worked with IoT, there are ultrasonic and multiple sensors. They are, if they are connected to node MCU or another thing, they send some data to cloud in every 5 seconds. So if you have something that sends data every 5 seconds and you need some low latency, writes, just pick for big table. Don't read any option, just pick big table, and this question will come for sure. If you need high low latency, high writes means writing to database, then big table is there. That the reason is that the big table is wide column database. It was specifically designed for IoT things. It was designed for the IoT data coming to cloud. So it is a wide column database. The difference between column and wide column, it's out of the scope, but if you want to know, just ping me after the session. So another service is the Firestore. So if you face any question, like there is nothing low latency, right, mentioned, there is nothing mentioned about IoT sensors, but it is mentioned that the data is unstructured, then pick Firestore. Firestore, that's it. Firestore is the service that has two modes. One is native, second is data store mode. So generally, like, that is a high level thing, but Firestore is for semi structured. And if you face any questions for analytics, if you want to analyze your data, if you want to derive some sense out of your data, and the data is in petabytes, the data is like huge, so just pick BigQuery, because BigQuery is the only OLAP, online analytics processing service that Google Cloud offers, and it is mostly used for data warehousing, like for storing huge amount of data. And if you have some raw data, just go for cloud storage. If you have like four options, 5 to 6 services are mostly covered in this certification: Cloud SQL, Spanner, Firestore, Bigtable, BigQuery, Cloud Storage. That's it. No need for persistent disk. But for your sake, persistent disk are your HDDs or SSDs that are attached to your VM. Currently, there are four types of VM, PDs. In short, we call them PDs. Four types of PDs that Google Cloud offers, and that's it. About structured data, I already told you. Unstructured, I told you. Analytics also. Yeah, some services are like Cloud Code, Artifact Registry, Container Registry, Cloud Build, out of the scope. But Cloud Code is just the ID that is hosted on cloud. The second thing is Artifact and Container Registry. They are used for storing images. Remember, I told you about the images are the screenshots of your services. So they are used to store the data, the images on cloud. And data flow is another, like, if you want to create some pipelines. I didn't face any question regarding data flow, and all the services like PubSub, data for data proc, data prep. But if you want to create a pipeline, just go for data flow. That's it. There are other services also, data fusion, data another service, but data flow should be your preferred choice if some question come for pipelines. And now we are done with the my presentation, but the my session is not over yet. So how can you download the software? What is the process? What is the thing? After, how to book a certification? I was seeing a plethora of messages regarding this in the chat. So first thing, you have to just Google it. Just Google it, book Google Cloud certification. Then Kyretion, Kashiran, will a website will open. You have to create an account there. Beware that you just give your real name over there, because once name is like the same name will be printed on your certification, and it will be continued for rest of your life. So just create a account there. And after that, there is an option in that for assessment or register for assessment. Just book the certification, just pick up the date, pick up the time, and provide at the end. You have to provide the promo code. It is just simple thing, like you go to Amazon and buy some things from your cart. It is similar to that only, but just you have to Google it, book Google Cloud certification, create account, add the certification, that like the voucher for which you have provided, book that certification only. And yeah, book the certification. And what could possibly go wrong during the examination? First is system crash. Delete your antivirus system, because I faced a lot of difficulties. Delete your antivirus system if you are using Windows. Second thing is disable your firewall. It will be disabled, like you have to go to Windows icon, enter control panel, and then in the first option would be their security, and you have to disable the firewall. Without these two, like sometimes your video may be lost during the exam, and they will throw you out of the lobby. And the other thing is that the certification is monitored by humans, like, and the AI both. So don't be a little clever, like I can look here and there. Just look in the screen, give the answers, choose the answers, and that's it. Don't try to be over clever, like I can cheat, I can. They will throw you out after the third attempt you make. So be a little cautious with your eyes, with your movement, and with your environment. The third thing is that, like, there are multiple scenarios in which they can throw you out. One is eye movement. Make sure that you are just looking in your screen. Second thing is unauthorized material caught. Be aware that there is no phone or Apple Watch or any watch around you. And fifth thing is exam not launching. There is one website, I will share the link with you. You have to go and chat with the expert, online expert. So they are available 24/7. There is no need. And my advice would be to book the exam in middle of a week, because in weekends they have a lot of traffic. So their software can have like can fail. So book this exam in the middle of the week. What after CDL, go for associate cloud engineer. This is my personal experience. 3 to 4 days back, I gave CDL certification, and in just 30 minutes. Let me tell you what is the exam. Like, you will have 60 questions and 1 hour 30 minutes. That is 90 minutes and 60 questions. So I completed the exam in 30 minutes only. 30 minutes, 60 questions. So the exam is not that hard. But yeah, you are new, then just utilize the full time. There's no need like he did for 30 minutes, I will also do for 30 minutes. Just take your time. Take an average of 1 minute. If you're not getting to the question, you're not getting the what the question is saying, then just skip it. Mark for review and later review it. Just don't like keep stuck to a particular question, waste your time. There are some questions that are made to like make you fail. So just don't stick to a particular question. And if you, one advice from me would be that just don't ping people after passing the certification, that I need an internship, I need a job, I need this thing. Because what I experienced is that I gave this exam 3 to 4 days, and I didn't find any like good skill tested in this certification. It like for internship part only, it is just meant for your good thing, like you want to get started with cloud. But don't make up your mind that you will get an internship or a job after this certification. No, this doesn't test you that much after this certification. That's why I'm compelling you to go for associate cloud engineer. That is a very good certification that checks you in all the grounds, everything. But don't just ping people after this like I need job. it is your first step towards cloud. Learn something, build some strong basics, have some strong fundamentals in Linux, all the services that I told you. Go for the terms like serverless, availability, durability. Often people ignore these terms in the beginning and regret later. So just pick to this term and look at the services daily. Like, okay, what is Google Cloud Storage? Okay, this is for storing raw data. So just go through these services every day or once in 2 days, because cloud is evolving every day. So you need to be you need to stick to the basics. So after this certification, please go for associate cloud engineer or some role specific like professional cloud security and other things. These are all the certifications, and possibly Google will add 2 to 3 more in the coming year. And I have passed 8 of them. Do let me know if you need any guidance for particular certification. What after cloud? That's for sure. Like, if you are good at cloud, you will easily get internships, because I think most of you are from colleges first, second, third year. That's for sure. Like, if you are good into cloud, if you need some basics, you are good, you are good at Linux commands, and you have some architecture knowledge, like, okay, connecting services, that's it, you will easily get a good job. And after cloud, like, there's multiple options. You can go for Terraform, infrastructure as code. If you love coding, Kubernetes is another big thing. Like, you can learn Kubernetes for entire like uh, entire life. That's huge. So another thing is DevOps is multiple tools: Ansible, Splunk, Snowflake, multiple things, like connect multiple services together. SRE is another thing, but you will find very less jobs for SREs. SRE, site reliability engineering. For this, you need to be good at one programming language. If you are into SRE, just pick Go. Kubernetes is also developed on Go programming language. So my preference is Go for SRE. And fifth is just don't run behind jobs. Create your good product. For example, if your father is in a business, or you have some store or some sort of industry related things, just build a website and deploy it as microservices on cloud. You can connect it with BigQuery. You can connect it with Looker. You can visualize the analytics. So this is about what after cloud. If you need any assistance, just this is my QR code. You can scan it and ping me on LinkedIn. Yeah, and focus more on self study and docs. Cloud is evolving, and you can get tricked. Like, multiple services are launched every month, every year. Multiple services are improved and changed and added. So just focus on documentation. You can contact me on LinkedIn and contact Hack2skill team. if you have uh, if you have covered, like, listen to me for the entire 45 minutes, I think you will pass the CDL certification easily, and also the quiz for tomorrow. If you need any assistance, do let me know. Yeah, Avni, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prerit, for having this session. Everyone, if you have any queries, please drop them up in the comment section. We would be happy to take them. Also, to those who were asking about the quiz, so the quiz will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. and will remain live till 13th of November 6 p.m. Make sure you are all completing your all four modules, and then only giving the quiz. If you will qualify the quiz, then only you will get the voucher. So the eligibility for quiz is also to complete all the four modules. Repeating again, all the four modules are compulsory, and make your skill boost profile public. If you have any questions, you can ask it down. Okay. So Harsh is asking Prerit, can you please repeat the software names?
So software names, like, you have to Google it. Google Cloud. I'm just sharing the link. Don't worry. So for booking the certification, you have to go over here. I have shared the link in chat.
All right. So all-in-one is also asking which type of questions will be asked in quiz. So the answers for the questions asked in quiz will be from the four modules covered. So make sure you are completing all the four quizzes happening in four modules, and then I guess you will be able to crack the quiz very easily. They are directly from the modules itself.
Yeah, one question. Yeah,
How
I
much
got the
time?
one question.
Yeah, 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 sure.
Google doesn't provide you any passing criteria. It just tell you that you are pass or fail. They don't provide any feedback like you have to give more emphasis on this service, unlike Azure and AWS. So they just give you pass or fail. That's it. No passing criteria, no marks mentioned. It's on to them only and the internal algorithm. And second thing is that the exam would be of 1 hour 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 questions. That's it.
All right. How to book offline center. So, how to redeem your quiz will be there in the steps mentioned with the vouchers. So, yeah, be prepared with that. So, you can book your online center or offline center using the on site or remote proctored. While redeeming the quiz, there will be an option, and of course, the steps will be there in the mail when you will be receiving the voucher. Please do ask your technical queries. We would love to answer them. So there is one common question getting repeated again and again, Prerit. That is, what is cloud? A very basic but yet an important one.
Okay, just like your clouds are used to store your the rainwater, similarly, in cloud in technical term is used to store your data and computational resources. That's it.
Got it, got it. Thank you so much. For those who are asking for the money, the exam is absolutely free. But then, of course, it comes with a lot of quizzes and preparation you need beforehand. And for the PPT and the recording of the sessions will be given on a mail by tomorrow to you. So you can go through all the recordings again, go through the PPTs, and then I am sure you can give your exam. Quiz will be in a form of Google form. You have to fill the form very carefully. It is a one time attempt, so make sure you are giving your best. It's okay if you are completing it by 13th also, but give your best while doing the quiz, since this will be the first and the last chance to redeem your voucher.
Okay, I got an interesting question. Which is the best certification for cloud in perspective of job or application? Look, certifications will not help you to grab an internship, but they will surely help a lot. Recruiters will get in touch with you based on the certifications because cloud in the cloud market, the things are not systemized as of right now. They are not structured like in SD roles. We have the system design round, then DS, then coding round. So that is not structured. So certifications will help you as of now. And coming back to your question, the best certification is professional cloud architect and other role based. For example, if you are into security, we have cloud security. If you are into databases, we have database. We have data as well. We have networking. We have ML. We have workspace. So if you're targeting for a particular role, you love security, then go for PCSC. If you are into databases migration, love playing with data, running queries, then data engineer. All depends on you. But highest paying as of now is professional data engineer. But don't fall into that trap. The certification is around $100,000. That is around 83 lakhs as of INR. And in India, you will hardly get a job for 10 lakhs for that certification. But if you have some experience, you have some good projects, you have some internship experience or some professional experience, then for sure you will have a package of $100,000. But if in India you are a newbie, you will only get a package of 8 to 12 lakhs without experience.
All right. Varun is asking about Kubernetes. If we can just repeat
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Kubernetes again.
Kubernetes is just a tool used to run microservices. Again, microservices, we have different. So we have all the code divided into a particular services. For each service, we have an image. The image is Docker file, and for images, we need to run them into containers. And for running containers, we need Kubernetes. Just think of it as a uh, platform to run microservice architecture. That's it.
All right. We have another question. Do we need any prerequisites for the exam?
Okay. So for this exam, no prerequisites. Just be a little human while giving the examination. Don't be in panic like I have this much time left. 20% will be on your general GK based only. Like you want some employee is not good at cloud, so what will you do with him? You just mention that I will help him. Just pick the option that I will help him. We will consult each other, we will study each day. That 20% will be on basic thing. No Linux is required, no command line experience is required, just a high level overview of the services. That's it.
All right. A lot of people are asking about the modules. So the modules are there on the dashboard. The point number two, they are there is the skill boost profile, or you can just go on to the skill Google skill boost, take the Google Cloud Digital Leader certification, complete the four modules, and get ready for the quiz. The link is mentioned in the dashboard. It is the path 9 which you all have to do. And again, if people are asking about the validity of voucher, the moment you get the voucher will be valid for only first 24 hours. So make sure you are booking your slots. It's okay if you're booking your slots for November or December, but you have to book immediately in the next 24 hours of getting the vouchers. So there is a question, I guess. What is the project in Google Cloud? If we can explain that, Dheeraj.
Okay, so a project, as soon as you create an account in Google Cloud, you will be assigned a project. Every project, your first project will be of the name My First Project by default, and every project in Google Cloud has a unique ID. Like no two users can have a same project ID, and project is just a high level overview. If you want a particular environment, you want a staging environment, like you have to test thing, you have to give the access to QA, then you can give the access to QA by IAM policies or IAM rules. So just think of projects as your midterm or your semester end projects. That is a whole project you give to the teacher and they evaluate back. So it is a whole a big thing, a big picture, and in that we can have multiple VPCs. In VPCs we can have multiple subnets. In subnets we can have multiple resources. So just imagine it is a diagram like organizational node for folders. In folders we have projects. In projects we have VPCs we have subnets we have resources. It is a high level overview of particular thing. In by default you can have 10 or 5 projects without raising the quota.
All right. There is a question from Ravi Kumawat also. Beginner's Guide for Cloud Digital Leader Preparation. I guess
Okay,
that is
so
also on Prerit's LinkedIn. Right? Yeah, if
yeah.
Prerit can answer that.
Yeah. So, so there are three good resources as of now, but I don't think can you should follow a particular resource. There is no need. There is seriously no need. But if you want, then three one resource is Andrew Brown from Free Code Camp. He has a 6 hour long video on his YouTube channel. The second one is Ranga Karnim in 28 minutes. So he has a course on Udemy. Just Google it out. There's no need for any link. The third thing is Satish Vijay, awesome GCP. He has a playlist of 76 to 80 videos on Cloud Digital Leader. So these three resources are enough. Don't think this addiction as of advanced level. It is really easy. Just also have some experience with the sample questions that is provided on Google Cloud documentation only. Just 15-20 questions are there. Just attempt those. Also, I'm sharing the link.
Yeah. Also, for those who are asking what should they start if they are the beginners, then the Cloud Digital Leader, I guess, is the perfect thing for you guys. You guys can just start with the Skill Boost profiles. There are multiple links of the things Prerit has mentioned already on the dashboard. You can go and watch out the playlist. The playlist is available on dashboard. Complete the Google Skill Boost courses, complete the videos, get yourself ready with some question sample papers, get hands on quiz, get eligible for voucher, book your slot and give your certificate. Like, it's the easiest things. If you are fully concentrated and want to start your cloud journey, I guess Google Cloud Digital Leader certificate is the best. I hope this answers your query, Prabhu, and multiple people who are asking them. There is one more. I guess this is the last query we are taking in. What things a DevOps engineer should know? Prerit?
uh, like cloud is must, because without cloud DevOps is orphan. So you need to know a good number of services. Maybe it can be cloud build, it can be data flow, it can be pipelining, it can but apart from cloud you need to know Kubernetes only, Kubernetes and Jenkins. There are multiple tools like Circle CI is there, Ansible is there. You need to, there's Terraform, there is multiple tools, there are Sivo, there is multiple tools. So there is no need to learn all the tools one by one and then implement it. There is no need, just good at Kubernetes. As far my experience is concerned, I have interviewed at Apple, Microsoft, Google, and multiple US based companies. So the first question that I ever faced was based on Kubernetes. So just be good at Kubernetes, that's it. For your beginning, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Prerit. Again, repeating for those who are asking, the quiz will be a Google form. Of course, I cannot tell the how many questions and what will be the criteria. It would be a bit unfair with the others. So yes, you can definitely prepare for a quiz. It would be again having a bunch of MCQ questions and. Be very prepared. It would be somewhere on the lines of the quizzes you are getting in the modules. This is the maximum I can spoke publicly about this thing. And similar on the vouchers, everything will be there on the mail itself. So guys, please wait for the mails. The mails are already scheduled and will be sent to you once the correct time is there. Meanwhile, you all can just wrap up your modules, and if it done, there are some playlists Prerit has mentioned. You all can watch it. It is definitely the best and the helpful ones. So I guess yes, we all can drop the questions on Discord. We will definitely ask Prerit to solve them up there if it would be okay, or you can connect Prerit over LinkedIn and all your queries. With this, let's just wrap the session. Thank you so much, Prerit, for joining in. It
Mm,
was really lovely to have you.
thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, everyone, for joining us.
Okay.